Some very sad news today, honestly, that we all saw coming. Toys R Us is shutting all 700 plus of its US stores. And this is a huge bummer for me and people of my generation. The last time something like this happened that sucks so much in my memory is Blockbuster. Now, of course, it's totally weird to be mourning the loss of a corporate entity, but still, there's a lot of childhood memories and nostalgia involved in going to places like this, so that's why I wanted to talk about it for a sec. It is unfortunate that Toys R Us is closing, but a lot of us kind of saw the writing on the wall with the way it was going in terms of it filed for bankruptcy first in September, and before that there had been issues. Apparently a whole venture capitalist deal and a monumental pile of debt led to this eventual downfall, coupled with the fact that people are buying toys less and the fact that Amazon kicks everybody's ass. It was just kind of a perfect storm for sadness, I guess, coupled with the fact that I'm convinced, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like kids play with toys much less nowadays. I sound like such an old person, but my siblings are way, way younger than me, so I was able to grow up and see them play with toys, but they didn't. They barely played with toys. Everything was iPads and stuff. But that's just the way it's going. And I'm really bummed about Toys R Us closing because for me, it was a place that I would always go, and it always felt like a big deal. These stores felt huge, monumental, and going was always such a big deal. Back in the day, you were able to save up these things called Jeffrey Bucks with the mascot. These were like little dollars that were essentially coupons that had a dollar value to them. So there were times when I would scrounge up 3 or 4 of them somehow, like maybe getting one from McDonald's or something, and I'd feel like king shit on Fuck Mountain where I could buy the whole store. Of course, I couldn't. I could barely get a Transformer. But still, having those Jeffrey Bucks was so exciting. The whole experience, the way video games worked there too, was crazy because there were these, some of you guys probably remember this, there were aisles and aisles of the pictures of the box art for the games and then little ticket slips that you would take and bring to a counter on the other side of the store. And then the very sad teenager would take the ticket and go in the back and bring out the game for you because it was behind a locked door. And that was cool, man. That was just the way it was. That was the experience of buying a game. It's very different than now. I mean, in terms of video games, Toys R Us was huge. That was where I bought most of my games. That was where I can specifically remember buying stuff like Mario 64, Super Smash Brothers, Croc, Gex, the other Gex game, Blasto, the original Metal Gear Solid, VR Missions Metal Gear Solid. I remember Toys R Us at a kiosk was the first time I saw a PlayStation up and running. That was the first time I laid eyes on a PlayStation and 3D graphics, and I said, whoa, I want that. And not only that, since I'm just kind of diarrheaing of my brain memories, I do remember saving up like crazy, all my money, selling basically everything I owned and mowing lawns and washing cars and walking dogs to buy a PlayStation 2. And that's where I bought it. I bought the Gran Turismo 3 bundle. So thanks a lot for that, Toys R Us. But here's the thing. It's sad, too, because I went today, and it's such a bummer that it's closing. People are coming in like vultures, and that's fine. Whatever. If the store's closing, you want to get the deals. But I go, basically, since I started working full-time, basically every month when I got my paycheck, I would go to Toys R Us by myself like a weird, alone, creepy adult. And I buy myself a toy, because that's what I like to do. Clearly, I'm a little obsessed with toys. So I would do that every month. And every time I took my little monthly trip to buy random toys to make myself feel better, to make up for all the toys I couldn't afford to buy when I was broke or a broke kid, there was never anyone in there. These stores for the past couple years have been freaking ghost towns. And now that I went today, now that they're closing, everyone rushes in. And it was sad, but at the same time, it also kind of reminded me of back how Toys R Us used to be, where it was a big freaking deal. And there were always tons and mobs of people there, and the lines and all the registers were full. Now in 2018, not so much, I guess, because you could buy stuff on Amazon, and that's the way of the future. That's how it's going. It's unfortunate, but I'm going to miss toy stores because we lost KB Toys, and now we lost Toys R Us. And I know some of you are probably like, why are you talking about toys, Jake? You're an adult. Get over it. It's my thing. I don't know. We all have things, okay? You buy Funko Pops. I buy action figures. And I'll prove it to you that I go. If you don't believe me, I have the membership card right here. I'm serious. Oh, and also I definitely remember, I don't know if you guys have ever had a situation like this where your parents would take you to Toys R Us or the toy store to buy a present for, say, a friend or a cousin or something, and you couldn't get a toy yourself. That's real pain, man. The word on the street right now is that Canadian Toys R Us stores are apparently maybe going to remain a thing. They are in talks with a buyer. Whether that buyer continues to operate them as Toys R Us's or if they liquidate them, I don't know. But that would be cool, at least for you Canadian folks. I'd be very jealous. And I'm rambling on about a corporate toy store, Toys R Us, and memories behind it because I like to do this. I did it for Blockbuster when it closed down, and I feel like a lot of us out there, we share these interests, so we have these experiences, so there is nostalgia there. So I really just want to start a conversation. I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you had Toys R Us's where you lived, what is your favorite memory of going? Mine is definitely, like I said, seeing that PS1 for the first time, or taking every single dollar bill that I had in order to cash it in and get a PS2. If you have any specific memories tied to Toys R Us or anything like the equivalent, I definitely want to hear from you down in the comments. Let's talk about this. It's gonna be gone, so might as well live it up while we can. I mean, I went in and I bought I just got this sick new God of War figure from NECA. I'm really excited. I collect all these. I have the God of War 3 one. They do really good figures. I'm pretty pumped. But let's talk about this stuff down in the comments. I'll be down there talking to you guys. Find me on social media. Let's talk about this stuff. As usual, I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe because video games.